Hi, how you doing? Me? I'm doing great. I get to ride this 2023 Honda Rebel 1100. Come take a ganders at it, shall we? Okay, so first off, we'll go over all the specs and all the details and all the modifications, because as you can see, there are a few modifications done to this bike. So first thing we got going on is a 1083cc parallel twin, the same exact one that is in the Africa Twin. It has a 270-degree firing order. It has 81 torques and 68 pounds of torque. That 68 pounds of torque is quite a bit, and I'm sure we'll check that out here in a little bit. So this thing should be pretty fun. We'll go with this. I'll go check it out on the road and see how it does. But I kind of have a feeling that I'm going to wish that they just put the straight up Africa Twin motor in this with the 105 or 110 horsepower. One thing about this bike specifically is it has the dual clutch transmission, DCT. So, I mean, essentially, if you don't know what that is, essentially it's an automatic transmission. So, when we get out of the road, we'll see how I like that, because, I'm just so used to a manual being connected to the bike, stuff like that. This bike weighs 509 pounds, wet and ready to ride. This sounds like a lot, but it's really, really not. I've had, sport touring bikes that were much heavier than that. So I'm sure this thing will feel quite zippy. We have a 330 millimeter single-sided disc brake with radial mounted 4-pot calipers on the front. They should do pretty good. Obviously, we'll see how that goes. Rubber lines, pretty standard affair otherwise, but we'll definitely see how it goes. Conventional front forks. I kind of wish they would have put inverted, because it's not like they don't have some sitting on the shelf. I would like to see that addition on this bike, at least eventually. They are preload adjustable only. And the rear shocks have a piggyback reservoir. They're dual shocks, and they're Showa brand, and they are also preload adjustable. LED lighting everywhere, front and back, as you can see. It has a 6.3 gallon fuel tank with a claimed 46 mpg. So in theory, you could get around 170 miles to the tank on this sucker. The seat height is a very approachable 27.5 inches. So almost anybody could sit on this sucker and ride, and it is quite comfortable. In 2023, this bike retailed for $10,099, and that is with the DCT transmission. Without, it's about $1,000 less, so $9,099. On the used market, you can find them between 8 and 10, which isn't bad. But yeah, for that, I'd just go buy a new one probably. It comes with cruise control from the factory, and it also comes with wheelie control. Looking at this bike, I don't really know why, and I'm not even sure you could with the DCT. But we'll see. Maybe I'm on the road and it tries to freaking buck me off. We'll see how it goes. It also has a good bit of ample storage under the seat. Maybe I'll put on the screen exactly how much. But from what I hear, it's pretty good. And as far as looks, I think it looks pretty good. It's a very good looking bike. Kind of Harley-esque. Which I'm sure is kind of what they're going for. But from what I see, people are almost saying that this is more sport-oriented, which I very, very much appreciate. This bike also comes in a T version, which is touring, so it'll have bags and a standard Batwing fairing. That bike, for right now, is only offered in the DCT transmission, which is, I think that's a huge oversight. I would really, really like to see the T version with the manual transmission. So this bike also comes with an 18-inch front wheel and a 16-inch rear wheel. and it has a chain final drive. So now what we'll do is we'll go over the modifications done to this bike, because as you can see, quite a few have been done. So going down the list, we have a Burley brand sissy bar on here for passenger. We have Kiriakin floorboards. We'll see how I like them out on the road. 2-inch risers. We have a Memphis Shades gauntlet fairing that has been installed. We'll see how that does with wind protection. I don't know what brand these handguards are, but they're also aftermarket. And it also has a Kaufman's exhaust system, and which, for being how small it is, it's not as loud as I expected, and I quite like it. And you're about to hear that in just a minute. She also has a Corbin gunfighter seat, so we'll see how comfortable that is. Alright, so sitting on the bike, you can see that we have a digital LCD dash here. Pretty standard stuff. I kind of wish they would have done a TFT dash on this. I think it would have added a really nice touch, but I'm sure this is fine. Here's the controls for the transmission. Here we have, I'm assuming that's automatic and manual is how you select that. Here we have drive, neutral, cruise control set. I'm not going to mess with the cruise control while we're out there. So we also have 4 rider modes. If you can see it here, we have Sport, User, Custom, Rain, and Standard. And we'll leave it in Standard for now. Maybe we'll switch it to Sport. Obviously, we don't need to switch it for Rain. It is very pretty here today. So over here, when we put it in manual mode, we have upshift and downshift. And I think that's about all we need to know to get the sucker running. Now we will fire her up, give her the old pep talk, and see how she sounds, and then we'll get on the road and see how she rides. It doesn't sound bad. It's got a nice low rumble to it. Now let's go give her the old chatteroni. The whole I think that sounds quite good. Alright, let's take her on out. So, as you can plainly see, I am 6 foot tall. I am a super stout 255 pounds, and I have a 32-inch inseam. And sitting on this bike, I have room for days. I mean, all the room in the world that you could ever ask for. So, sitting at a stop, I have massive bends in my leg. This is very, very comfortable just sitting here like this. Alright. Let's put her on in gear. See, I already did it. I already went for the clutch. That'll probably be a reoccurring theme in this video. Alright, so all we have to do is hit drive. It went into drive, and then twist the throttle, and when we're going. So it's definitely weird not changing the gears. Like, I almost have to remind myself to not go for the gear shifter. Alright, so already, right off the bat, it just from there to here, it changed into second gear. And I don't like that too much, because I like to stay in the gears. I probably a little longer than I should, but I like to hear the bike. I like to, make it sing a little bit, So I would have appreciated if it would have let it hang on to the gear a little bit longer, but I guess that's what you get when you have an automatic transmission. Let's go. Okay, so already twice now I've tried to put my foot right here. I guess I'm just used to the pegs being closer to the bike. I keep trying to put it here instead of here where it should be. And while we're on the topic of where my feet are, these floorboards that were installed, I feel like they are adjustable pitch-wise, and I guess this is where this particular rider likes his feet to be when he rides, but I feel like it should be, you know, more here. Just so my foot's canted back a little bit. I feel like that would be a little bit more comfortable. This kind of feels a little awkward. They're like perfectly flat, but I'm kind of leaned back. All right, enough jabbering. Let's go. See, it's already changed into third, fourth, and I'm not even at the stoplight yet. Fifth. I'm not so sure I like that too much. And it's downshifting. I don't know. Like I like downshifting. I just don't know how I like the automatic yet. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go. All right, we are approaching a stop. So you just hit the brake. It slows down for you, changes every gear down for you, and then you just simply come to a stop. Put your foot down. It's too easy, too easy. Make sure my freaking camera's there. All right, we are approaching the twisty, I'm not going to say twisty, the curvy section of our ride, where we're going to see how it handles under normal you know, back roads that you might take. Let's go, dude. Alright, now we're on this curvy stud. Ominous, hallelujah, all that stuff. Pay respects. And let's give it a little bit of beans. It downshifts for me. It feels quite good. All right, let's do a little bit more curves here. See how she handles them. I'll tell you what, for a cruiser, this bike is extremely nimble. Like, it does not mind me putting it on the side of its tire at all. It's almost like it wants me to. It feels very, very sporty. I like it. I like that a lot. I definitely feel like the touring version with the bags and the Batwing fairing in a manual, which I heard is coming for 2024. I can't confirm or deny that. I will look it up when I get home. But I heard it's coming in manual 2024. I feel like that would be an awesome bike because it handles really well, the power's pretty good, and we'll do an acceleration test, don't you worry. But I think that would be a super fun bike and very comfortable, relaxed. So let's talk about comfort. I am extremely comfortable right now. The rider triangle is pretty comfortable. I'm not sure how the 2-inch risers and the floorboards play into how comfortable I am. I'm sure the Corbin Gunfighter seat doesn't hurt at all. This thing is crazy comfortable. Like, it saddles my booty perfectly. I could definitely ride this for an extended period of time. My feet are right where I feel like they should be on this particular bike. They're mid-controls, and they're very, very comfortable. But I still feel like in this position, I could do some good curve handling.
I think as far as long distance traveling is concerned, I think its only downfall is the wind protection. And I don't know, that's probably just because I'm an old dude. I love wind protection. Like I've stated a few times before, I am absolutely a windshield, or I am absolutely a windscreen whore. I absolutely love them. And this is, it's sitting right below the start of my helmet. So right at the bottom of my helmet is where I'm getting air, which isn't bad for sure. But I think for something that I'm going to be taking on a very, very long distance ride, I want to at least hit like right where my beak is, roughly. So I think right here, just kind of putting along, cruising, not trying to have very, not trying to be very lively, I guess you could say, is kind of where this bike really, with the DCT transmission anyway, it really shines, because like I don't have to do shit. I just twist the throttle a little bit and lean over a little bit. It shifts all the gears for me. It upshifts for me, downshifts for me, does everything for me. For the value, this bike is amazing. You get that 270-degree parallel twin that sounds awesome. You get 80-some horsepower, which isn't a slouch. Like, it'll go. We're about to give it some beans here in a minute, and you'll see it's definitely not a slouch. It's comfortable as hell. It feels pretty substantial. I like it, and only for 10 grand. Like that's a deal. I would have to say that is a freaking deal, especially with cruise control. You get cruise control, you get a myriad of standard features for not a lot of monies. And I like saving monies. Probably because I don't have any monies. Give me monies. When we make this turn here, we'll see what she can do. Up to a certain point, and then we'll back off. So we don't get arrested, even though we're totally on a closed course, right? Let's go. I don't like that it's shifted for me because I like to do this in first, but it'll downshift for me. All right, let's go. Woo, yeah. She's got some get up to her. I still wish they would have just transplanted the Africa twin engine into this, just for that little extra bit of you know? So when you hit it, you're like, damn! Like right now, I'm like, hey, this is pretty damn fun. But I feel like if it had that 105 or 110 that the Africa twin has, I'd be like, damn! This would be a hell of a fun bike with 110 horsepower. And then because it's a cruiser, like that's sick. Like give me a shit ton of power in a cruiser. That is fun. For real, dog? Just right out in front of me, huh? Just right there. Just boop, right in front of me. Real cool. Ass. So far, I think this bike's only real short side, for me anyway, is the transmission. I just like being in control too much. I like controlling when it shifts, how much RPM, everything. I like to be in control over every aspect of the motorcycle. Right now, the motorcycle's making too many decisions for me. For example, right now, I'm in 6th gear, and I'm not going very fast. So if I wanted to nail it, I have to nail it, wait for the transmission to understand what I'm doing, downshift, and then I can go. Where with, on a manual bike, I can just downshift and mash on it, and it'll go as soon as I want it to go. With this, it goes as soon as it wants to go. So right here is where I usually talk about the dash, the gauge cluster here. I like that it's round, so it kind of retains that old school look. And I like that the speed's so big. As you all know, I'm not a fan of the slide bar RPM gauge. I am just not into that, because I like to be able to look down real quick to see, identify it, and that's the end of the story. Like right here, I kind of gotta look and go, oh shit, what is that? Between 2 and 3, 4, 3, you know, it's just too much guesswork when I just need to look down and see it real quick. And I really like that there's a gear indicator. But like I was saying, if I just want to give it gas, if I do it, the transmission's got to keep up. So see it had to downshift for me. I'm not a huge fan on that. And I think the dash is way too clustered. There's too much going on. They should have made it a little simpler. And how would it do if you gave it a little gas on here? If that would downshift while you were in the middle of a turn, that would be scary as shit. Alright, let's give it a little beans on the highway and see how she feels on the highway. Feels pretty damn good. Plenty of torque for sure. Damn, these mirrors are fantastic. They're right in your field of view. I don't really have anything negative to say about them. I can see through both of them. They don't rattle. Very good. So wind protection, like I said, I wish it had a little bit more. I wish there was a little less wind in my face. Alright, let's go cruising speed. So here's about cruising speed, and this thing is just trucking along. This is great. I would really like the T version in a manual. I think that would be a blast. I will say that when you're in a higher gear and you want to accelerate abruptly, it is a smooth, seamless transition in its downshifts. It downshifts very, very fast, and you almost don't even notice it. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. I love how it sounds. It sounds absolutely incredible. Just listen to that. I can listen to that all day, baby. The sound of my people. They should make more V-twins. KTM, keep it up. As y'all can tell, I heavily drink the Kool-Aid. That orange Kool-Aid. But just because I drink the orange Kool-Aid doesn't mean I don't appreciate every single motorcycle. If it has 2 wheels, I'll ride it. I can ride anything. I can ride anything with wheels, some things without. Let me know down in the comments if you get that reference. So as you can see, it's a pretty color. Except for whatever this scud is. Probably that like safety sticker been ripped off. It's scud. Now just cruising like this when you're trying to go a reasonable speed, automatic's not bad. Woo! I'm smelling the ganja. Somebody around here feeling real good. Woo! That's strong too, boy. Is it a homie in the truck? By the way he's driving, more than likely. Alright, let's put it in manual mode and see if I like that better. What gear are we in? 4th? Is it in manual? Do I have to be stopped? Oh yeah, I definitely like that more. Ooh, yeah. Now I have some control over it. And now I'm liking it a whole lot more for sure.
So who is this bike for? I would say this bike is for, you know, a lot of people, honestly. Like, for anybody short, this would be a very good motorcycle. I'll say this. This would be a very good bike for anybody that is vertically challenged, but is experienced. So this bike does have a good amount of power. So I would say you'd need to be, you know, maybe start on a Rebel 500, and then when you graduate, go to this. This bike would also be good for if you want that classic cruiser look, but you value performance, because this definitely has that. This certainly feels better than some Harleys that I have ridden. It could also be for, you know, really anybody that just wants an automatic transmission, really. Let's talk about our ranking system that we came up with. Aesthetics. Aesthetically, I am giving this bike we'll go with a 5. Because, like, it's not bad looking, but it's not, like, amazing looking. It just kind of looks like another cruiser. That's not saying anything bad about it. I like the way it looks. I'm just not looking at it and I'm not like, damn, you know? I'm just like, yeah, it's a cool looking bike, whatever. Versatility. Yeah, it's pretty versatile, I'd say. If you add some bags, take it on long rides. You can also commute very easily on this. And it's a fun-ass bike. Like, I would definitely like to ride this in like some very twisty situations, and that's the first time I've ever said that about like a bigger cruiser, because normally when I'm on a bigger cruiser I'm like, nah, whatever, we can or can't, I don't care. But on this I would actually be quite excited. So for versatility, I'm gonna give it a, oh shit, I gotta change gears, don't I? Ooh, I forgot. So for versatility, I'm going to give it a 5.5. Practicality. It's got all the practicality in the absolute world. Like I just said before, you can ride sporty with it, you can cruise with it, and you can absolutely ride back and forth to work on it, and it'll get you wherever you need to go. Very, very comfortably, and you'll have a smile on your face, might I add. So, for practicality, I'm going to give it a 6.5. We'll go with 6.5 for practicality. Fun factor. Honestly, if it were a manual, it would be more. But I do love the engine. The engine is absolutely incredible. And it takes like some twisty stuff way better than I expected. So, it feels weird, because normally you're on the front of the motorcycle. On this, you're on the back. But it feels better than expected. So, for fun factor, I'll give it a 6.5 as well. A 6.5 on fun factor. Good. How about my overall ranking? Overall, I'm going to give this bike a solid, I'll say a 6.5 again. We'll go with 6.5. We will do an acceleration and stop test. So, acceleration, and 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. And stop. The brakes leave a little bit to be desired, but the acceleration is quite good. And I did that in automatic mode, by the way, because I feel like that'll probably give us the best assessment of acceleration. Now, I will say the brakes leave a bit to be desired. Oh yeah, oh, I like that. But now we're heading towards the second curvy area. Let's see how I like it on the second time. And there's a truck right in the way to ruin all of my fun. Of course there is. Ah! I think we are finally at the point now where I must bid you adieu and say goodbye. Peace. Love you all 6 of you maybe now. Hopefully, maybe. Come on, give me a friggin' break here. Demons kill them dead in your mirror, in your bed, in your heart, in your head. Don't you look good in red?
paint the walls, and if you make it out loud, hold that bloody head up high.